Hello there, my friends. How are you today? My name is Natasha. I am the creator and the founder of the Glow Up Method, and I'm so excited to be here in this chair talking with you right now. My gosh, you know how sometimes in life, you have, and I'm sorry, I'm really crooked here. You have the perfect plan, right? Like you have everything set out. You're envisioning how your day is gonna go. You know, you have it all, everything lined up, and everything is working out. And then suddenly something happens and it just rocks your world and throws you totally off kilter and you're frustrated. I felt really frustrated for the bulk of the day. And it's so sad because it started off so beautifully. Like it started off wonderfully. And now here I am. I am leaps and bounds beyond where I thought I would be. I had work to do. I was going to get my whole week's worth of editing done and my thumbnails done, and I was going to get pictures done. I was going to have my filming done. I was going to get my meditation done. I was getting all these things in order and lined up so that this week could even be even more productive, and I could use this energy to focus on really improving this. Right now that I'm doing film review, I'm like, hey, I can see here that my audio can use some improvement. I can see here that, you know, my video quality is fine, but it could be better. And so I really want to bring you a better version of who I am today. Like where I started, I'm so hella proud of. Like the fact that anyone has found me, left a comment, viewed it, that's a bonus. Like I was just for me getting it out that last week was just such that was the thing. It was just like going out and taking the first walk, right? It wasn't about all of a sudden I took that first walk and hopped on the scale and thought I lost 20 pounds and you know, even better yet, 100, right? 140 pounds. Like, no, it was about doing the little thing. It was about you know how good you feel like when there's something you want to do and you put it off for a long time, or you know, you have whatever reason, or even if you don't put it off, you just do it. Like it just feels really good to follow through with something that you know aligns with you. And I know this aligns with me. And again, I'm not super invested on where this is going to, ultimately the outcome of it. What I am is I know this is a part of the journey. It's either a part of the forever journey or there's a season of my life. And that's the reason for this at this time. Again, when I started writing for my book, I didn't know where it was going to evolve. I didn't know I'd have this beautiful journal that, again, much like this, I have never really reread except for on a few occasions. You know, I wanted to reread what Chris had read when he had kind of went in and read my stuff. I read some of it and I was, you know, so I have, you know, I love to live in the present. And I used to live in a place where I was really, really fearful of a lot of the things that were happening, coming in the future. So I would sit here wasting time worrying about a lot of times things that just simply weren't going to happen. Or if they were still out of my control. There was literally nothing I can do. So learning to look at my stuff that's happened in the past, not as an excuse, not as a reason, not as a something to hold me back and hold on to, and I'm just this victim of this thing. No, looking back now has such a different purpose for me. Looking back is a way to really, really appreciate where I am today, but also provides so much awareness of how much I really have grown, how much I really have changed, and how many people I really have touched. And I just think it's this beautiful way of sharing. And so again, you know, today my day was extremely hijacked. I can't necessarily blame anybody else but myself. Yes, there were factors and there were things, you know, I prioritized my kids and this involved my kids. And I'm pretty clear here. Something happens with my kids and I go mama bear status, and there's few things that anyone can do better than I can do. And parenting those kids is one of the things that I do absolutely best, you know, or advocating for or protecting, you know, when something is wrong. So, you know, I could go into the godly, ghastly details of what has occurred, and I'm not going to. You know, Chris was over there Chrising, my kids were just being over there kidding, and something did not work out as it was planned. there was no way of really knowing it. Perhaps there were areas right now that you have the beauty of hindsight allows you to see, oh, perhaps if I would have done this different, or if I would have done this different, we would have a different outcome. However, we're not there. And wasting our time saying, why didn't we? We should have, and all this stuff in a way more than to just learn for future reference really does nobody any service. Believe me, there were moments in today that I was just so frustrated about it that I was just like, and here's where the frustration came. It's not in the fact that a mistake was made, or, somebody did something they didn't know would equal a mistake. Here's where my frustration comes in, is my perspective, again, my life, the way I've experienced it, from the things that my moms chose, from the things that my dads chose, from the things that my brothers chose, from the things that my assailants have chosen, from all of these other situations that I've encountered. The common core belief that I have inside is someone else makes a mistake, someone else makes a mess, and it's left for my job to clean. It's left for me to clean because nobody else is doing it. And again, I don't have to, right? Like, working on establishing boundaries, which again, I say on here, I didn't know what the heck a boundary was a few years ago. And I sure as heck didn't know how to enforce them. And I definitely did not know that a boundary was not about protecting others from, protecting me from others. No. That's where I was wrong. The realization that truly the boundary is to protect me from me. And today I pushed those boundaries. I had what I wanted to get done, and I abandoned that. Nobody forced me to do anything. Nobody asked me to do anything. But my tendency to go in and have this like superpower of being able to fix things and, take responsibility when something else goes awry just overran today. And it was so frustrating because it's like, here it is right now, it's 6:30, the sun is going down, I still have steps to do, I didn't even get my meditation done today, and I was like fully invested. I was like, I'm doing a 20-minute one. Like, I really was like, this is like one of the only days like I do not have to leave the house all day. Like, and it just felt good. Like, I had planned on getting as much of my steps done. I had already come to the conversation in my head that, I'm not quite sure if I will be able to, like how much my body can take. And it came in so handy that the class that I usually take on Sundays, that I've been starting to take these last couple months, had been canceled. Like, it was a different instructor. So I was like, no brainer. I don't feel this guilt or this external force like making me want to go, because I want to dance. Like, even with the injury, all of a sudden I'll go to dance and I'm like, no, like, stop moving your hips like that. Stop doing that. Like, just let it heal, let it rest. And so, I got my cleaning, I got my, certain things, the vacuuming, my bathroom clean. Like, I like to get those things done on Sunday. I've always shared that, like, I just like a fresh start for the week. I've got my calendar printed, I've got these things, but like, I had such big plans for the day, and I'm now like inevitably going to run out of time. And so I'm going to have to pick and choose the places in which I put my time, which really made me think, like, I've got this really long to-do list, right? And so on Friday, on the top of my calendar, so my Glow Up calendar here, I told you, I have a Google Calendar, but I also have this little bit of an addiction. So when I go on my phone, I become extremely distracted. And the next thing you know, I'm checking my Facebook and an email and a text. And I'm like, wait a minute, why was it here? Oh, I was checking the calendar because I wanted to see where I was setting an alarm. And it's just too tempting for me still. I don't have a healthy enough a relationship with my phone to have the self-control in which I need to get everything I want to do done in a day without feeling exhausted, cranky, and tired. And so I'm really trying to fit all these aspects in. What are my priorities? My priorities are being a mom. My priorities are you. Like, being a part of this Glow Up method is I don't know. I can't explain it. It's like, it's the first thing that in my life that, like, I felt like I belonged. Like I felt like it was like right. Like there wasn't a second guessing. There isn't a lot of second guessing. It's just me. It is just me, like who I am today. Like it's not, I'm not sitting here and trying to impress anybody. I'm not sitting here and trying to make somebody like me or become a chameleon and do what I think that they want me to. I'm just being me. And so I think that that is so freeing. And it's just something that, like, not only is it so freeing personally, like I have this added bonus where people are like, thank you for sharing your journey, and they're like collaborating and talking and being a part of the community. And I'm like, wait a minute, what, how do you even find me? Like, I expected this to just, get out there and sit, and I didn't even care, because quite honestly, like if I was going to be a perfectionist and be, only show who I am today, it would look very different, right? Like I would be like editing it and I would be changing it, but that's not real. Everywhere I looked, I saw that, and it made me feel really inferior. It made me feel really dumb. It made me feel like I don't know how to start. And it made me feel like it was just too big to start. And so I wouldn't. So I'm taking this just like my weight loss, where it wasn't about losing 100 pounds or anything. It was 1 pound at a time. And eventually, down the road, as I started getting into things, yeah, I like to give myself little games and stuff like that and be like, okay, I want to level down. And, it was this way of creating more excitement and celebration about my accomplishments in the middle. And I really needed that. I really needed to celebrate me. So that's why each pound was so remarkable. It was like, heck yeah. Where previously I'd lose a pound and I'd be like, ugh, I like literally didn't eat all day. I didn't eat yesterday. I ate 3 grapes the day before and I've only lost 1 pound. Like it was always this, like nothing was good enough. And reframing and adjusting the way that I approached the, physical part of reduction of weight and releasing the weight was so huge. It was something worth celebrating. Even the days where I plateaued and I didn't lose weight, because I had conversations with myself. I'm like, listen, you're not going to lose weight every day. Like we're going to fluctuate. There's hormones. There's so many factors. What time of day, how much water, like there's so much going on that is beyond the number. Like understand there are going to be days and times that, that thing is going to, the scale in one day can fluctuate 5 different pounds, one way or another, or maybe it's not going to move for 5 days in a row. And that's a real challenge. I mean, it is a real challenge, right? Because you feel like, there's a part of you that gets frustrated. It's like, I'm doing everything right. Why am I not getting the results I want? Like right now, like I don't get it. You get kind of frustrated, and then that's when I would stall and I would stumble and I would just quit, because I was like, it's not working anyways. What's the point of all this? And I would forget that it's about putting in the reps. I would forget, because guess what? I don't even think I really knew at that point, like I had never really like put it into a like conscious, like, like really like pre-planned kind of like thought process. It was just kind of like something you would kind of see along the way. And so like really, really knowing that in each moment, each step necessarily isn't gonna like change everything. But if we're looking at it across a lifetime, if we're looking at it in the bigger scheme of things, it's huge, because it's creating that momentum. It's creating that consistency. It's creating so that today, like regardless of what else that happens, I'm getting in that meditation, I'm getting in this filming, and I'm going to get at the very minimum my thumbnails and my episode for tomorrow rewatched and produced, and everything I need to do in the back end to get it published for tomorrow. And so, yeah, it's frustrating that perhaps everything isn't quite working on the timeline I wanted it to work today. But it's been such a day filled with lessons, right? Like, even though I didn't get exactly what I wanted out of today, I did get exactly what I needed. I got the little reminder and the lesson that I still have some, areas of which frustration pops up real quick. And I get really annoyed, and I don't like that part about me, which makes me then more annoyed, because I'm annoyed that I'm annoyed. And I'm like, why am I annoyed? Like not like in a, why are you annoyed? Like I really want to know why. And why do I want to know why? because I really want to work with me. I really want to say, where are we struggling? And then I really want to work with the people around me and say, hey, I'm really sorry. Like, this is how I behaved. Like I really want to take ownership in the parts that I do wrong. And I also want to explain, here's my thing. Like, I'm not defending my actions. I'm not defending getting pissy or anything like that. But I'm really trying to understand, and not only have me understand, but have those around me understand. And I think that just gives a layer of like compassion and vulnerability, and it gives somebody else the opportunity to say, like, I get what you're going through. Like, I get it. Like, I understand now. When I only had some of the data, I didn't really understand why you were just popping off on me. But you're in pain, you're this and this and this. And I don't want a justification, because again, I don't think any of those are reasons to get cranky and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, my biggest takeaway is the way I behaved today was because of me. It was predominantly because I did not enforce my own boundaries. I did not prioritize myself. I did not prioritize the things that I wanted to get done today. Quite honestly, we were on that airplane. The oxygen masks came down. I put it on my son. I did that today. And I was really mad about it. I was really frustrated. Like, not the time, because I love being a good mom and I love helping, and I love, in a weird way, problems and helping, being a part of the solution. I don't like the problems, but I like figuring out, how to get to a solution, like, problem solving it out. And so I think that's where it takes me to today. The problem here wasn't Chris, and the problem here today wasn't Dylan. The problem here was me and my tendencies to take things over when, crap hits the fan. And it's been this way forever, right? Like, it's been this way as long as I can remember, as long as time has stood still for me and moved along. But that's an area of my life in which I really would like to improve. I think that, again, going back to what we've talked to it, a couple times this past week, is it's about balance. It is about me being a good mom. I like that part about me. I think it's a very enduring quality. And again, we have many reasons why I go above and beyond, and we've discussed those here, and we will discuss them much more, I'm sure, in the future too. But do you ever feel like that? Like, at least for me, it has become such a default setting to just completely abandon everything I want or set forth in a day. And yet, so seldomly do I see that, in particular, of the male counterparts that live in my house. And now I don't know if that's just the males I live with. I don't know if that was the males I lived with, my brother and my dad, growing up. So I don't know if that just tends to be the people that are in my life, or, the way I am, which, like, I don't know particularly if that's like a universal thing. But I do believe that there are a lot of us moms out there, or caregivers, pet moms, like friends and sisters, whatever it is I've always been that type. Like, something happens to somebody else and I will drop everything to be there for you. Again, if I take myself back to that time, and I go back to this often, and I'm sorry if it's like a really uncomfortable topic to talk about, but I go back to being so young and impressionable when my mom had this, mental breakdown, suicide attempt in front of me. Like, I was just going about my own business. Up until that point in the morning, there had been arguing between my parents, but that was just kind of like the normal. It was like the background noise, I was just sitting there playing my dolls, just being a kid. That's all I was doing. That's all I wanted to do for the day. I wanted to sit down, play my dolls, and that was it, right? That was the plan. But then my mom had a different plan for the day. And maybe it wasn't a plan, but, it turned out to be whatever it was. And I didn't want to. Like, it wasn't like I did not want to, but like going into the day, it wasn't like, hey, today I want to save my mom's life. I'm gonna figure this out, No, it wasn't like something I wanted to do. I mean, I did it, obviously, but like, I think it really like set forth. And then like when my parents would fight, and then the house would be a mess, and there was papers and pots and pans and all this crap clothes all over the house. Somebody else made a mess and it was my responsibility to clean it. and so many times throughout life. And then I started remembering, like, even as a teenager, my grandma would be like, just clean this up. And I'm like, I didn't make this mess. I don't want to clean it. And it was a big contentious, like, my grandma and I didn't beef very often. Again, she's my soulmate. She's a queen. Like, she didn't know wrong to me, but she was trying to have me clean somebody else's mess. And it got on my nerves. It really got on. I'm like, I didn't make that mess. And she had her own reasons to be like, look, your dad works hard. He does this. Like, is it going to cost you that much more? And I was like, no, but I just don't want to do this. It was like, she really, like, opened my eyes in a different way. We debated for 30 minutes. And at the end of the day, she was like, honestly, it would have took you so much quicker to just vacuum that up and clean that up than to sit here and argue with me. And I just kind of, like, at that point was like, you're right. Like, it is so true. And we laughed about it. And I've heard myself now say that thousands of times to my own kids and family here. And, I get this frustration. And again, of course, my day started off cleaning. Like, I didn't mind though. Like, we all use the same bathroom or whatever. Like, I don't mind. And cleaning my own space, I don't mind. But when, like, somebody else is getting an advantage because I'm cleaning up their mess, like, or there's no consideration or even appreciation for it, now I think that I have this awareness. It's really frustrating for me. And I think it's always was frustrating. I'm just finally learning the words to connect with, like, the experience, where before it was just how I felt and it would just come out in anger or yelling or screaming or pouting or crying or, huffing or whatever it was. It wasn't very healthy and it wasn't very productive. And so I think, again, going back to living an experience, right? It's so easy to read things and hypothetically speaking, and again, be listening to my self-care books in the car on the way to the gym, or, have my own thoughts and conversations with different people. And in, like, theory, you know everything, but in that execution, it's a whole different beast, right? When all of a sudden you're flooded with emotions and thoughts and you're also trying to quickly problem solve. Like, it's a very overwhelming experience. And so there were a couple times throughout the day that I really there was progress from how I used to be. Oh my gosh, was there progress, right? Like, I did not respond as I would have before. And throughout it, I would, and then it was like I'd use my right hand and then I'd use the left hand, and then I'd use the right hand and then I'd use the left hand. So it was definitely more of a hybrid. When the right hand was in action, that's when I would often feel the most out of control and the most, like, agitated and things. But then I would quickly calm down and I'm like, this is not, this is a lesson to really remind me that I am still this huge work in progress. Like, there is still a lot of tools that I've learned, and to learn when to most effectively pull them into my life, right? Like the breathing, like deep breathing, the meditation, just kind of like the reframing of the situation, like removing myself from the situation, not just abandoning myself, like enforcing my own personal boundaries and be like, I'm sorry this is happening. This sucks. Let me know how I can help. And then just continue on my day, because everybody else did. Like, why was everybody else? And yet here I was until, 6 o'clock at night, still working on it. And I'm not any further in it. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I'm not necessarily any further than I was this morning. And I just pretty much gave this day to it, which is fine. Because again, like I say, I learned so much. Like, I gained awareness about myself. And having this honesty with myself and this awareness, which I'm hoping you will have for yourself too, allows for this really compassionate place to say, here's a blind spot I didn't see. And here's a scenario where it comes up, and I can kind of see the pattern where this has come up a lot. Like, the way I'm feeling right now, I've felt this a lot of times throughout my life. And I really would like to minimize, I can't, promise anything, but I'd really like to minimize this feeling, or if I'm having this feeling, to get to choose how to respond versus react. And so again, the big thought of today is like, in the past, I would have been frustrated when laid in bed and be like, forget it, I'm doing nothing, like the day is ruined, like it would have been this whole drama thing. And it's like, hey, listen, it's not ruined. Like, there's still 6 hours at least that you're going to be up. Let's get her done. Let's get what we can done. Let's be hella proud. Like, if we're writing our gratitude thing right now, I'm really grateful. Like, I am always put I am grateful for like the self-awareness today. I am grateful that I learned that I am the biggest perpetrator of violating my own boundaries. And I would also say in there, like, I'm really grateful to have the reminders that I am a priority too. And that just because somebody else needs me, it doesn't mean I have to abandon myself and what I want to do in order to fulfill their needs. The world will still go around without me. And I think I often forget that. I really do have this like superhero mentality. And, having been thrust in this position where I'm constantly the responsible one for adults older than me, adults, children younger than me, my uncles, my aunt, my mom, my dad, like all these people in different times. That's a lot of responsibility on one person. And so, again, I say all the time, I'm over here trying to get out of the business of responsibility. Like, I only want to be responsible for the things that I choose to be responsible for, like, just because I have 4 kids, my 4 kids are not babies anymore. We're not talking like 6 and 4 year olds. Like, they're 24, 22, 18, and 16. Like, they don't need mom in the same way a young child would. But oftentimes I find myself, I still do treat them in that way, which again is a blessing and a curse because I am definitely a part of enabling the way, that dynamic in the relationship is. So having these lessons and reminding myself that I am the biggest teacher of how people learn how to treat me, like that's on me. And so again, I'm really grateful for today. I really am. I really am. I feel so much better. Like I was fuming frustrated at points of today. And now I'm just kind of like, let go and let God. Like whatever is going to happen, I can sit here and stress out about it. I can take the next 6 hours and be pissed off about it. I can, do all those things. But nothing is going to change. All I know is what I know right now. And what I know right now is I'm sitting here with you. And how lucky am I for that? And before I sat down with you, I responded not to 1, not to 2, not to 3, but 4 comments. 4 comments. Granted, now 3 of them were from the same person at different times, but I will take it. 4 people, 4 different times in their personal lives, they chose to write a comment to me on this YouTube. Like, stop it. Like, this is crazy talk. Like, this is like I just want you to learn and see like anything really is possible if you put your mind to it. And then you follow that mind, that beautiful, beautiful mind of yours with action. And it doesn't need to be huge. We always think about that. Like we think, oh my gosh, everything has to be, we make things so big that it becomes really, really like this whole mountain, like to come up. Like if you were like, okay, let's start walking and you want to walk, the first walk is Mount Everest, like that, what? No, I can't even breathe. It's a big mountain. Like, no way. Like, right. But if you're like, hey, let's take this flat road. It doesn't look so bad. It doesn't seem so hard. And so a lot of times we want results so fast, right? Like we do. We're used to now, even as older people, like we're used to getting information and having results quickly, right? Like before you would get an x-ray, you'd have to wait weeks for the radiologist. Like now it's like in your my chart within a couple of hours. Like we're really accustomed to having things so fast. So again, that goes back to my weight loss journey and my health journey, is really coming to the reframing and the understanding that it took a long time for all that weight to get on my body. I mean, in total, 44 years, 45 years, whatever it was at that time that I made the final commitment to really go for it, and then made that commitment every day since. It's an everyday decision. Every day. What I decide, what I think about it, like how I view it. I'm checking on something. Okay, I'm still number 41, so I'm good. But, like how I interact with that decision, if I feel pride in it, if I feel happiness in it. And it sounds so simple and silly. And again, like I just want to like scream it from the top of the rooftops. There is no medicine I took. There are no fad diets, no keto, no Jenny Craig, no Weight Watchers. And there were no surgeries. Like I did this all by myself. Now I had a lot of help. Again, my number one help was my, Javier, my dance instructor. a friend of mine for telling me I deserve to be happy, future grandkids I've never met. So there have been a ton of people that have supported me in the journey, and some of them know it and some of them don't, and some of it may never know. Like I tell Javier often, and if anyone talks to him, I'm always, I really do hope he knows like how, and I think he does, but how absolutely blessed I am to have had our worlds collide, and I get to go have this expression. Like, I thank him so much. So that's my dance instructor. But I say all that to say, a lot of times we want things big and we want things fast, and we can plan everything right and do everything right, and we think, why isn't it working? And sometimes things don't work out, and we may not always get what we want, but we definitely get what we need. And so today was the biggest example of that. I didn't necessarily get everything I wanted done, but I did get everything I needed from the day. And I really appreciate that awareness and that clarity, so that when I go on the rest of my life, I have that tool and that data to be able to process and proceed a little bit different, to come into that person that I'm dreaming of being, come into that person that I'm proud of. Although I'm still proud of myself today, I will say that. But to be this person I'm proud of on a consistent basis is huge, right? And even on days when I do stuff that I'm not necessarily proud of, like, as long as I'm on that path, I'm winning. And so are you. So I'm so grateful you are here with me today. So thank you so much. I hope that you have a beautiful day. I am so proud of you. Continue working on your journey. Just do small things on a consistent basis. You showing up here every day, that's huge. That's hard. And I appreciate that. So thank you so much. Mwah. Bye. Please go out there, give somebody a big smile, give them a compliment, and just watch how they glow up. So thank you. Bye.